As we breathe into the lying down position that we chose, notice how our body begins to settle into the floor and our props if we chose any. Allowing our breath to move deep into the lowest part of our ribs. And from this lying down position, let's begin to rock our heads side to side. Just finding some gentle movement through our neck, making sure the movement honors our body. And bringing our head back to center. Let's bend our knees one at a time. And then walk our feet out wide. We're going to rock our knees side to side. Again, just finding gentle movement, focusing on the knees dropping into the midline of our body. Noticing not just the movement in our legs, but the back of our hips, our spine. And then bringing our knees back to center, walk our feet back in. Let's draw one knee into our chest, give it a hug. And release, find our other knee into our chest. And then just continue marching out our feet, drawing one knee into our chest. Let's find one more time, each side. And then bringing our feet back down. Let's roll over to one side and then press ourselves up. We're going to come up to standing at the front of our mat. In our standing position, let's inhale, sweep our hands up. And then exhale, bring our hands together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep our hands up. Exhale, bend our knees and fold. Let our head hang, neck and shoulders relax. Stepping our right foot back, lunge. Just taking a moment to pause, pressing our heel back. And then slowly step our front foot back to meet into plank pose. Lowering all the way down. Inhale, cobra, opening our heart. And then I want you to hold in cobra, hugging your elbows into your side. We're going to turn our head to one side and then to the other. Finding a little more movement through our neck with a little more gravity involved this time. And then bringing our head back to center. Let's tuck our chin, bring our head down towards the floor, tap the floor as our chin reaches for our throat. Then inhale, lift our head, draw our gaze forward and up. Tucking our chin, reaching our chin for our throat, lowering our chest down, tap the mat with our forehead. And then inhaling, lifting up and turning our chin up and tucking our chin. And slowly bring it down and lifting up. Slowly draw our chin up to the ceiling and bringing our chin back down and our forehead down and rising up. And bring it back down and hold in this down position. Let's hug our bellies in, press our hands into the mat, come up and back to child's pose. Letting our hips sink back, but I want you to keep your arms lifted. Feel your shoulder blades move down your back. Feel your head reach forward towards your hands. And hold with our upper body hovering. Building stability through our back, our shoulders. Imagining that we're rolling our armpits in underneath us, like we're kind of tucking them in, as if your upper arms were rolling out. And then lifting our chest. We're going to curl our toes under, lift our knees, step our right foot forward, doesn't matter how far we get. Walk our hands back towards our right foot. And then extend our left foot back to come into lunge. And then shift our weight forward into our right foot, step our left foot forward and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees, rise all the way up. Hands come together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Take our hands to our upper arms and let our head hang. Let our spine lengthen. Let our arms relax heavy. And then releasing our hands down. Let's bend our knees, rise all the way up. And then hands come together in front of our heart. Releasing our hands to our side, we're gonna grab a hold of our towel. And I want you to take your towel and fold it up so that you have some height to your towel. And you can keep it in whatever folded position you want, but I want it to have a significant amount of height. So allowing your towel to be thick. Place it at the front of your mat. And then we're gonna take our right foot, put the balls of our foot on the towel and our heel on the floor. And then I want you to find a little bit of a split stance. So your back foot, your left foot is back, your front foot is forward on the towel. Then we're gonna drive our right knee forward, keeping our heel, right heel on the ground. Straighten our leg and take our knee forward, bringing our knee in line with our toes. Extend our leg and bend our knee. We're just moving forward and back. Moving through the top end of our range of motion in our ankle. Now take your knee out towards your pinky toe, keeping your heel down. We're still playing with that top end of that range of motion within our ankle. Keeping our heel actively pressing down. Then bring our knee over our big toe. Again, heel stays down. Then stepping our right foot off the towel, we're gonna do the same thing with our left foot. Put the balls of our foot on the towel, heel on the floor. Split stance, feet are still hip width distance apart. Drive your left knee forward, keeping your heel down. And kind of notice which way your knee wants to go. Extend and press forward. And if you just draw your knee forward without thinking about it and notice what happens with your knee, it kind of gives you an idea of how you move within your leg when your toes are lifted. Now taking our knee over our little toe. Keeping our heel down, keeping our shoulders over our hips so our weight's just shifting forward. And then taking our knee over our big toe. We're not rotating our hips. We're keeping our hips facing the front of our mat. And then one more time. And step back. We're going to move our towel back. And then we're going to place our right heel on the front of our towel so that our toes step off the front side. But we're going to keep our left foot back so that it's on the back side of our towel. And then keeping our right knee soft, but mostly straight, we're going to lift our toes up and press our heel into the towel. Put our toes back down and lift them back up as if you were lifting a heavy weight up off the floor. So you're going to have to engage the workload on your ankle as soon as your toes leave the floor. Putting it down slow and lifting it up. Put it down slow and lift it up. Your weight is mostly in your back foot. Now lift our toes up, pivot on our heels. We're going to turn our toes out, push our toes down, slide our toes over to the left, lift our toes up, take them back over to the right, put them down, slide over to the left, lift up, go back over to the right, and push down. Try not to pivot your leg. Sweep to the left, lift up, sweep to the right, push down, hold, lift back up, come over to the left, push down, sweep to the right. Try not to pivot your leg, lift your toes, take them over to the left, push them down, over to the right, lift up, over to the left, push down, come back to center, lift your toes up, press your heel down, and relax your foot down and step back. You can play the same thing, other side. Left heel on the towel, toes on the floor. Leg is mostly straight, soft bend in the knee. Lift your toes up and then put them back down. Lift your toes up and put them down. Keep lifting, working the top of our foot, top of our ankle, our shin. Feel that workload as soon as your toes leave the floor. Then put our toes down, turn our toes out. Try not to pivot your legs. You're keeping your knee forward, so you're not rotating from the hip. You're keeping that upper leg steady and strong, pushing the toes over to the left, lift up, come to the right, push down, and to the left, and up, to the right, and down, to the left, and up, to the right, and down, and keep going. And then when your toes come in, I want you to stop, lift up, and reverse the circle. Come back to center. Lift our toes up towards our shin. Hold. Put them back down and step back. We're going to take our towel, place it off to the side, step forward to the front of our mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Take our hands to the outside of our shins and then actively press your shins into your hands. Notice what happens with your feet. The arches of your feet lift, your toes are more aligned, and then relax. Now I want you to bring your awareness to your knees. Press your shins into your hands. You already know what's going on in your feet. Notice if you feel a little more stable in your knees. And relax. Now I want you to bring your awareness to the base of your hips. Press your shins into your hands. Feel your upper thighs rotate in. So the outside of your legs are rotating forward. The front of your thighs are rotating in. And notice the space that you create at the base of your hips. Now I want you to hang on to all of that work. Release your hands. Let your upper body hang. Let your toes remain light. So that solid foundation in the four corners of your feet, that opening at the base of our hips, the length to the back of our thighs, and then relax. Walk both feet back, plank. Now I want you to find that same effort. Inner thighs rotating in, or front of our thighs rotating in, and then lower down. Releasing our feet, take our hands underneath our forehead. Notice how your legs lie. Notice where your feet go. Notice how your hips are affected. Lifting our feet up off the mat. Take a moment to pause as we let our heels rest heavy towards our hips. Letting go of any tension in the back of our hips and our low back. Extending our arms forward, draw our elbows in. Just listening to how this feels on the front of our thighs, the front of our hips, our low back. And then walking our elbows in as it feels good for you. The goal to get elbows underneath shoulders doesn't mean it happens today. Keep letting your heels draw towards your glutes. Keep lengthening across our belly, softening through the back of our hips. Releasing our left foot down to the floor. Press our right hip down. See if you can close that gap between the front of your hip and the floor. Then draw your heel towards your glute a little bit more. We're using the strength of our hamstring, the back of our thigh, to stretch the front of our thigh and the front of our hip. Keep driving your hip down into the floor. And then relax. Draw our left foot up, right foot down. Let your left hip relax. Then press our left hip into the floor. Keep lengthening across our belly. Keep drawing our heel towards our glute. Doesn't matter if it touches, we're just going that direction. Keep pressing. And relax. Release our left foot down. Draw our hands back underneath our forehead. Lift our feet up and then rock them side to side. Letting both feet move in the same direction. Bringing our feet back to center. Releasing our feet down to the mat. Let's slide our hands around to the side of our chest, hug our bellies in, press up and back to child's pose. Pausing, lengthening through the back of our body. Walking our hands underneath our shoulders, press ourselves up. We're going to grab a seat on whatever prop we like in any fashion that you like. So cross-legged, sitting on your heels, whatever you prefer. And then once we come into this upright seated position, I want you to kind of notice where you are in ribs, relationship to hips, shoulders with ribs, head with shoulders. Just kind of notice where it all aligns and stacks. See if you can put the base of your hips, your sit bones, right on the front edge of your prop so that your hips tip forward. You have the natural curve of your low back. And all of the joints I just mentioned are stacked and aligned. Now from this position, actively pull our head back as if you're trying to give yourself a double chin. Keep pulling but keep your ribs aligned. So don't let your ribs pop forward. And once you find your end range of motion, take your hands one on top of the other and hold your head in place. And then press your head into your hands and resist with your hands. And relax. Take your hands to your lap. Close your eyes, soften your shoulders. Notice if it's a little bit easier to pull your head back and feel like you're in more of a neutral position. Place our right hand on the side of our head. Check in that your head's aligned, that you're not dropping one ear lower than the other. Feel the lift of your spine. And then actively press equally with your hand and your head. Press a little bit harder. A little bit more. And relax. Releasing our right hand. Begin to turn our head side to side. Let your movement be really slow. Bringing our head back to center. Actively pull it back. Feel the alignment of your joints. And then take our left hand to the side of our head. Check in that we're not tipping our head to meet our hand. And then once we've noticed everything's aligned, actively press. And then relax. Releasing our left hand, begin to turn our head side to side slowly. Bringing our head back to center. Interlace our fingers behind our head or bring our fingertips to the back of our head. Let our elbows come out wide. Check in with our alignment. Make sure we're not popping our ribs forward, that our head feels like it's stacked over our shoulders. Then actively pull our head back, keeping everything aligned. And then equally press hand and head. And relax. Releasing our hands to our lap. Close our eyes. Slowly turn our head side to side. As you pivot on your head, notice that you're just simply turning your head. You're not pushing your head forward. You're not pulling it back. And notice if your head feels like it's pivoting right over the center of your neck. And bringing our head back to center. Opening our eyes. We're going to come to a lying down position on our back. And I want you to bring your blocks with you. Place them on your right side. And then let our arms open out like wings. Lift our left foot, cross it over the top of our right thigh. Let our left knee relax forward. And check in with your right leg. Is it in line with your hip? Then from here, making sure we're not hitting our blocks, then we're going to lower our legs over to the right, keeping this shape. Then we're going to take the blocks and tuck them into our right hip and use them to support the inside of our left leg. So we're kind of meeting ourselves where we naturally relax to. So we're not pulling our leg down. We're not trying to find our max and range of motion. We're just trying to support our leg where it would naturally relax to. Keeping both shoulders relaxed on the floor if we can. And then we're stretching through the outer left hip to the back side, through the side of it, and maybe a little bit into the waist. And we want to support the inside of our leg so that our left leg can completely relax. And we feel more of the hip bone where it connects, or leg bone where it connects in the back of our hip. We want to feel space in that area. So if you can imagine a joint that has a ball and a socket, and that the socket is our hip, and the ball is where the leg bone comes in and comes into the back of our hip. We want that ball to be able to come out of the hip joint just a tiny bit to create space in there. And we're doing that by moving our leverage point a little bit in. So we're not pulling it. We're not trying to stretch really big through the outer hip, though you may feel the stretch there. It is not our goal. Where we really want to feel it is right at the back of our hip, right in the middle of our glute. So in order to do that, we really have to focus on getting the blocks on the inside of our top thigh. Stacking the blocks in any way that supports your leg. Remembering that we're working with different heights. You may only need one block. Slowly lift our left leg up. Hug our belly muscles in to support our spine as we lift our legs. Put our left foot on the floor. Cross our right leg over our left. Take our blocks over to our left side. And again, we're looking for a similar setup as we had on our right. And then from this position, lower your legs over to the left. Both shoulders are staying on the ground. We're letting our right leg come all the way down to what feels good for us. Then support the inside of that leg so that we can move our legs. So think teeter-totter, and our leg is the board on top of the teeter-totter. In order for the right knee to come down, the left hip or right hip is going to come up. That's what creates that space. Very slowly, hugging our belly muscles in, lifting our legs. Place our right foot on the floor. Release our props out from our left side, and you can use your blocks underneath your knees, or you can place them in any other fashion you like to support your body. for Shavasana. Let this be an opportunity to completely let go, to not have to make any changes, to allow our body to just rest and restore in whatever fashion it wants to lay down. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. Let our breath begin to deepen. And bending our knees. Roll over to our right side. And press ourselves up. As we find our way to a comfortable seat, rising up tall through our spine, notice how we immediately hold our head. Notice how we hold our upper back, our mid back, our low back. Bringing our hands together in front of our heart, sealing in all that we found on this journey of movement. From our feet all the way up to our neck. Noticing what we connected with, how it felt. Feeling in the entire journey between our hands. Place it into our heart as a gift of movement, a gift of knowledge, a gift of being open and being able to listen to our body for at least 1 hour out of our day. Know that you can do this through movement and other activities as well. Pausing, listening into the movement, taking your time to notice how it feels. Namaste.